Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside, and welcome to Pleasant View Gardens here in Loudon, New Hampshire. Pleasant View Gardens, or PVG as we call it, is home to your Proven Winner Annuals. If you buy a Proven Winner Annuals, they either come from here or the nursery in Michigan. As you know, if you're a fellow watcher of Creekside, we get all of our baby sweet little Proven Winner plants here from PVG. So what we're going to do is Jerry and I are here for our key account today. So we got to travel up here to New Hampshire at the very end of July. We brought the heat with us, my friends. It feels like 100 degrees today, but it is a gorgeous day. The plants are stunning. So we are going to walk through this display garden and give you a little sneak peek behind the scenes. Not really behind the scenes, because these gardens are actually open to the public. So if you find yourself in the neighborhood of Loudon, New Hampshire, come on by. The gardens are open basically sun up to sun down until frost. So you can stop by, just park in the parking lot. It's just right there. Come walk through, take pictures, enjoy it. It is a stunning garden. So what we're going to do, like I said, is just walk through and give you a little peek at what is happening here at the gardens. These gardens are planted for a lot of inspiration and solutions. So we're going to see different situations here in the garden that we are going to share with you, because we are here for that key account. A lot of the plants are labeled, which is fantastic, because in case Jenny forgets about them. But we are here at the sign, and can we just talk about Pinkerific, right? So the Virtuoso Pinkerific Dahlia, and I have to say that these heads are much larger than our heads at our house. Absolutely gorgeous. We love that Virtuoso Pinkerific. We have used it a ton this year in our gardens, and then that Stardiva Blue Scaevola. Give you a little bit of reference. The gardens here are a hardiness zone about a 5B. So kind of gives you an idea. It is basically the beginning of August, right? And the gardens are really full and in their glory because they are zone 5B. They have to wait a little bit longer than we do here from North Carolina. So huge, massive display of the dahlias. And then of course our beloved, look at this, the Senorita Rosalita Cleome. So whether you're in North Carolina or New Hampshire, it is a fantastic plant. All of these plants are just absolutely gorgeous. There's just so many different kind of options for you, and you will see that even through in the gardens, we're going to have you're going to have shrubs, you're going to have trees, you're going to have perennials, all sorts of different mixtures of plants. Even in New Hampshire, you can grow caladiums. Yes, you can. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous display of the two different colors. I will tell you what it is, because there's a sign right here. This is the Heart to Heart. That is not Blushing Bride. That's a, yes, the wrong ones. So it's a gorgeous caladium. How about that? It is a beautiful red. And then look over here at the coleus. I'm going to say that's going to be Torchlight, maybe. Yes, Torchlight. I'm doing really good here. Nope, Velveteen. So we have Color Blaze Velveteen, sun or shade, you name it, you've got it. Beautiful. And then one of Jerry's favorites is the that Color Blaze Mini Me Watermelon with the Angelonias. So you've got the blue, you've got the perfectly pink. And then can you see back there, there's also the red dahlias, that classic carmine. Some of those are kind of hiding in there, but man, they are beautiful. And then they have, I believe this is Gold Dust, I want to say is this one. And I don't know if you can see all of the honeybees. So if you're looking for a great ground cover, then this Gold Dust is going to be a great option for you. It is an annual, stays nice and low, beautiful yellow flowers, and of course the pollinators love it. All right, my friends, so here we go. So when you come to Pleasant View Gardens, they have got these gorgeous display baskets. They are known for these baskets. They are huge and they are massive. So of course we've got up here at the top, we have got the beloved Supertunia Vista Bubblegum, and then we have the Supertunia of the Year for next year. A little sneak peek here, my friends. We love this one. This is of course the Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. I have no idea if the camera's going to catch this, but there are hummingbirds all over this garden that are fussing and fighting with one another because because just on the other side of this bed, there is a mass planting of the vermillionaire, and between the vermillionaire and the supertunias, they are loving this garden. And then of course, you've got this incredible Saturn. Look at that. Everything is so fresh here. That's why we love coming to Pleasant View Gardens. Even if we did bring the heat with us and it's crazy hot today, it feels 100. That's what the weather said, and that, I mean, it's New Hampshire. But even with those high temperatures, everything is doing great. Of course, you've got this beautiful Angelonia mixed in with the pinks and the blues. You have got salvias. You have got the Bidens. This is the Campfire Flame. Another great one that will do whether you're in New Hampshire and you're in North Carolina. And then look at these cute little guys. Reminds you of like Cousin It, right? So that's part of, that would be a Prince Tut that I'm going to think it is. You've got the salvias, and look at that. You've got the Gomphrena, Truffula Pink. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So if you want to make a big impact in your yard, go big, go mass planting. Of course, you've got the pink cashmere, you have got the plum dandy. Don't ever underestimate a foliage plant, right? That foliage plant like the plum dandy, it is not going to flower, but it accents these plants so incredibly well. And just coming on through, of course, you have got maybe coffee cups. I think that's coffee cups. Nope, it's not. It is Heart of the Jungle. There we go, my friends. Coffee cups, we passed coffee cups because it was back over here. But just coming on through, and we've got hydrangeas, and we've got like the little pom-poms up on the top. Do you see those hanging baskets? Royal Velvet, Supertunia Royal Velvet. Those are those like little pom-poms. And don't ever like underestimate the power of, you know, if you have like utilities, because we all have utilities at our house, right? Whether it's a wall, whether it's a gas tank, what have you. So just on the other side of this wall are greenhouses. So they have the wall, but then look what they've done. They had these hay racks that they've put pretty close together, their own irrigation, but they've planted it with some super bells. You've got some accent plants. You've got the Prince Tut up at the top. Gorgeous, fun display. So, you know, work with what you got, right, my friends? And then the meteor shower all through here. They've got Heliopsis in here. That's going to be your perennials. Gorgeous hanging baskets. So you're going to have different recipes as we go through here. This has got like the James Pertinia. It's got saffron finch. It's got a super bell. Beautiful, nice, big, huge displays. And don't worry, y'all, because look, they've got irrigation wrapped through here, right? So everybody gets nice, lots of drinks of water. We've got hummingbirds, two hanging baskets down that are just having the absolute time of their life. All right, let's go find another area. We found a little bit of shade, so we're gonna hang out here for just a second. But what I have to say that there's lots of things to love here at the gardens at PVG. But what I do love too is that they're not just solely annuals. They incorporate those trees, those shrubs, and those perennials. So here we have a beautiful mix. We were coming through and I was like, Jerry, it's your coleus. It is the Color Blaze El Brido. And so here it is in a beautiful display with one of my favorites, right? That Broalia, that Flirtation, beautiful white, really complements the El Brido. Of course, all your Color Blazes can do sun or shade. Like right now it's in the shade, doing great. But even behind that, you've got a steel bees in there. Yes, they are done blooming, but we leave those heads on there for some really fun, neat interest. So you have got that. You've got the crested surf. So even, okay, because we hear this all the time in the nursery. Well, I have a big, a mature yard with big trees in it. Well, look, you have got this great maple tree right here that has a beautiful garden with it. So you've got those shade-loving perennials in the back as you come forward, maybe plants annuals that can take a little bit more sun. So you've got the crested surf, you've got the pink diamonds, you've got the pink and blue pulmonaria right here. And so these plants can stay in here year after year and just get bigger and bigger and bigger and more pretty. So we are in New Hampshire, right? It's supposed to be cool here, but in those cases when it's not, here we have the Sunglow Yellow or the Texas Primrose. So this is going to be one of those plants that are going to thrive in the heat, the dry heat, whatever kind of heat you can throw at it. Look at that beautiful, cheery, like little It almost reminds you of like the flower, a little bit of a Cosmo, right? It looks very kind of thin and papery, but it's very happy, very, very cheery. And so proven winners, as they always do, they're improving this. So this is the Super Fofus, I'm gonna mispronounce that one. Pronunciation police, you can get me. And then one of the huge, really big attractors for next year. I really think that this is going to be a big hit, this sweet potato vine. It is gorgeous. It has those variegations in it. So you can have solid black leaves, you can have solid green leaves, you can have speckles, you can have stripes, you can have half and half. It is a beautiful plant, and kind of depending on your climate and your growing, like how long your growing season is, it can be well behaved, or it can be like your sweet potato vine that sometimes you have to give a little haircut to, but they respond really well to it. And also the new, you're gonna have a Medusa black sweet potato vine. You've got the cascading surefire begonias here. So you can see this in the pot, how they do come up a little bit, but then they kind of trail over. So that surefire cascade is gonna be for sun or shade, gorgeous. And then come on up here, because I'm gonna talk about, we're gonna come around this way. Here you've got the Rudbeckia. This is the Mega Millions. Is that not gorgeous? You've got the Rudbeckia, then you've got your Salvia back there. That would be the rockin', playing the blues. Gorgeous, covered in bees, stunning display. And because we are in New Hampshire, the panicles, some of them are just on the cusp of breaking out in full display. But of course you can see up around, we're gonna get that in a second, those are in gorgeous full bloom. So even though this is a display garden, right? And I think Jerry and I were talking, the last time we were here was like 4 years ago. And so it's been a while since we've been here, and the garden has changed just a little bit, right? They're always tweaking. How do we adapt? How do we make it better? This used to be where they had like kind of the patio deck area set up to give you ideas for that. And so they have kind of taken that out, moved it to a different location. But look at this. So you've got this circular garden with the path. You've got a really cool stone piece in the center of it. And then to come in and you have this little nook. So a more kind of permanent garden with the gorgeous mystic illusion. I mean, y'all, even in New Hampshire, for these to be this big already is quite impressive. Beautiful. So people love this dahlia because it has that near black, well, it is black foliage and those beautiful yellow flowers. Stunning. And then you've got zinnias. You've got like some thyme here. You've got all sorts of things. But this is a memorial garden, right? So it has this. This is the Huntingtons. The Huntingtons own Pleasant View Gardens. A long generation history with these gardens. Absolutely stunning. So you're coming on in. You've got Queen Tut. You've got cannas. You've got that lemon coral. Doesn't that lemon coral make a statement right there? Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely stunning. You've got Sweet Romance lavender. You have got the golden butterfly. Look at those sweet daisy flowers. Absolutely beautiful. And then the Supertunia Royal Velvet. Lovely. Look at this. You think we could take this home on the plane? Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Lovely. Yeah, so coming through a lot of the same things, some of those same plants that we have seen, like the Mystic Illusion, not the Mystic Illusion, listen to me, Virtuoso, Pinkerific. You've got the new Kufias. You have got for next year, the Agasaki. So these are going to be 2 new introductions for next year. You've got the Maestros. You've got Maestro Coral and Maestro Gold. A huge pollinator attractor. We've got bumblebees all over it. Nice kind of upright habit. Does really well. Is doing really well for us as well. Now, one of the key features here at Pleasant View Gardens, especially when you first come in, is their gazebo garden, shall we say. I'm making things up here. So every year they will plant the top, typically with a different Supertunia. And so this year we have got the Supertunia Pink Tiara in all of her glory. Stay tuned, Jerry's gonna put the drone up so you can see it from the top. But look at this, huge display going in. More of that gold dust. Then you know me, I love the Aromagica Purple Heliotrope. Isn't that lovely? As we were walking by, I could smell it. It smells so good. This is like a pollinator's paradise right now. You've got honeybees all over this gold dust, all over the Aromagica. Then you've got the Kufias, and then we've got more of the Senorita Rosalita. Beautiful. Look at that. Lovely. It's also shady under here. And then we've got limelights, pufferfish, limelights. So we've got limelights back here that are kind of covering here in the back. But isn't this gorgeous? So if you want to know how they did it, they look like a bunch of hay racks that are on top of the beams. They have a plastic liner, it looks like, underneath to help retain as much moisture as possible so they don't drain out. Obviously there's going to be irrigation up there. Fertilizer will run through that, I am sure, but just lovely. All right, let's go over here to the wall because there's another wall of color. Look. Okay, now this is coffee cups. You've got coffee cups, you've got clowning around, and then the apricot begonia, Selenia, and sweet potato vine, and Pegasus begonia. It just keeps on going. There's more and more. Oh. All right, so now we had one wall that had some super bells in it. We have this wall that's got your super petunias. So you've got Mini Vista Indigo, you've got the new Cool Jazz, you've got the Blue Tiara, you've got all sorts of different ones in there. Stunning. And you can see maybe a little bit more here where the baskets are, because every time we come to these gardens, people are asking like, well, how do they create that? How do they create these towers? How do they create the wall? And so if you get in here, you can see a little bit. So they've got the metal framing, the hay rack lined in plastic. Now, depends on where you are if you want to put that plastic in there, right? They're trying to retain as much moisture as possible. I am sure that there is some drainage in here so that can drain, and then the drip lines go through there as well. But just a beautiful display. All right, speaking of, we were gonna go down somewhere else. Let's go down that into the garden. One of the big highlights from when we were here last time are these towers. These are the coolest things. I can't get up close because they're landscaped all around, but these are so fun. So people ask like what they are. Well, first of all, let's talk about the plants. So you've got the new Mini Vista. This is going to be that pink cloud. So you've got that, and then of course the Gumfrina up top. Next door, we have got the new Vista. That's the Cool Jazz, and then it has Vermillionaire up there at the top on that one. So essentially, if you want to recreate this at your home, basically what this is a tower formed with chicken wire, right? And then it is filled with potting soil. So it's completely filled with potting soil, and then they cut the chicken wire when needed to put the grande containers in there. There's irrigation running through there, so it's all kind of held together, but basically your form is from that chicken wire, and then you just let it fill out. There's roughly about between 12 to 14,000 grandes planted in this garden, roughly started planting at the end of April, to kind of give you a bit of a reference on that. But absolutely so fun, gorgeous. It looks like a little hat for me. That is just fantastic. All right, so I'm gonna go this way and Jerry's gonna meet us around this way. So, all right, so we went down this side. I wanna go down the next side so that you can see, but there's another tower right here. It has the saffron finch. It's got the maybe orange marmalade, lantana. You've got dreamsicle, and then you've got a fun evergreen up top. But you can see where the irrigation kind of, the tippy top up there as well. So this is what I'm going to call Hummingbird Alley, because this is where the hummingbirds are going nuts. So we've got, of course, the salvia down here, the annual salvia, and then you've got the perennial agastache. This is the royal raspberry. So you can kind of see the difference in the garden here between the perennial and then the annual agastache. And then coming on through, lots of fun different ideas for you as far as like different heights, right? So we want layers in the garden. So whether it's that gold dust, it's the artemisia, and you can see that they have different ideas throughout. what I really love about PVG Gardens is that there's a lot of ideas, lots of inspiration. It's not all the exact same plants repeated over and over again. They really kind of try to give you different kind of combinations. Of course, you've got the Senorita Blanca Cleome, which we love, the Pineapple Brandy, Coleus. Then you've got just the, I say just, that is very unfair, the Suncredible Yellow, which is that classic yellow. And then here we're coming into the Vermilion Air. This is where the hummingbirds were just fussing with each other as they come through. And then more of the dahlias. I really can't get over it's like how big these beautiful blooms are. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely stunning. So if you're like me and your dahlia heads, especially this time of year, really look nothing like this, keep in mind that this is a much cooler climate. At nighttime, it cools off. Even though it feels like 100 degrees out here, it is a dry heat. It is drier than it is at home. So these plants get a reprieve at the nighttime. When the fall hits, this is what mine will look like. But in the heat of the summer, just hang on, they will bounce back for sure. And then look at this fun tower down here. So you have got more different kinds of verbenas. You've got the mini vistas, you've got vistas, and then I love that they did a lemon coral up top and then a fun evergreen. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I mean, if you want character and like people to slam on the brakes when they drive by your house and they're like, what is that? How did you do that? This is a showstopper. Lots of fun, gorgeous ideas, really creative, really different, super, super fun. And then as we're coming down here, we were down here before, but these hanging baskets, these are gonna be the 2026 national recipes. So you've got different one, like this is called Saffron Sunrise that we talked about a little bit earlier. You've got the Super Bells Tropical Sunrise, you've got Safari Dusk, and then the Saffron Finch. So fun, gorgeous. And then you've got Pixie Powder. Pixie Powder's, she's hot. So you've got the Rocapucos, you've got Diamond Frost, and then the gorgeous, look at that. That is the Double Delight Apple Blossom. So sweet. The Double Delight series, if you don't grow those, I would encourage you to do that because here, one's better in shade. Maybe this will be a better shot for Jerry. The Double Delights, so depending on where you live and your climate, is going to depend on how much sun it can get. If you're like me in the south with the heat, the humidity, these do great with morning sun, but they definitely need a break in the afternoon. Just beautiful. But that Apple Blossom is, I think, the newest one is for the Double Delight series. And then this year we did Blush Rose at the house, and it is just, she's phenomenal. As long as she gets a break from the hot afternoon sun, even in the heat and humidity, she is still just absolutely cranking. So as we come down, we're gonna kind of come down here because I want to share with you, if you're able to come to Pleasant View as we're going through, they're not quite blooming yet because they're just a little bit behind us, but they have a great display of all the summerific hibiscus. Of course, these are the perennials. Somebody's going to be blooming tomorrow, so she's got some buds right here. So this is Berry Awesome. So Berry Awesome is going to be Berry Awesome tomorrow with her blooms because she's got some popping up. But even if you want to check out the plants, so down here they have got recipes, they've got trial plants, they've got new introductions, they have got all sorts of things down here that you can kind of peruse to really look at those individual plants. Really fun idea. And then the window boxes. If you remember, the window boxes used to be up at the top garden, and now they brought them down here. So this is a great, this is what I'm talking about, inspiration. So many people want to have those beautiful display of your window boxes on your house, your shed, your barn, whatever it may be. So on both sides of the window, you've got two different plantings. Most of these are going to be for your full sun. Again, it depends on where you are, right? If it needs some sun or some shade, but lots of good ideas through here. Love it. All right, so something fun is this whole double row of the hanging baskets. These are trial recipes. So these are recipes that the folks at Pleasant View have come up with that they think are good combinations together. So when you're looking at a combination, this is a perfect example. You want the plants to be well behaved. You don't have one plant taking over another. In this one, we've got the Super Bells Double Yellow, Super Bells Holy Moly, and then the Safari Lava Flow. So if you look up here on the tag, it says hanging trial recipe number 23. So tomorrow we get to come through and we get to vote on our favorite recipes. So that way Pleasant View can then take those to proven winners in the coming years and say, hey, we think these might be a stunning combination together. I mean, look at this. I do adore this one. This is, you've got the Lobelia, the Laguna Royal Lilac, which is in here. You've got the, of course, the Supertunia Blue Tiara, and then the Superbena Whiteout. That is beautiful together. So let's talk about, we've got a great success because we're all about successes and messes. So as much as we love sweet potato vine, it can be a bit of aggressive sometimes. And so this one has the new Medusa. This is the black Medusa. Then you've got some of the Laguna Royal Pink in here. Just a little smidget of that. And then one of my all-time favorite plants, the Supertunia Mini Vista Plum Vein. But this may not make the cut because Medusa. Aptly named, shall we say. But you can just kind of come through here, whether it's like you've got lantanas and super bells together, just all sorts. They've got the new Bordeaux. So beginning next year, when you purchase Bordeaux, your Bordeaux is going to look like this. So proven winners, there was a little bit of issues with Bordeaux. As they always do, if there's a little issue, let's improve it. So this is the improved Bordeaux. It will be the only one available next year. Brighter color to it, tighter habit, very, very pretty. This is a lovely one as well. And then this is like the Supertunia Vista recipe right here. You've got Cool Jazz, Jazzberry, and Snowdrift. So if you want to go big, there you go. That is definitely going to be the recipe for you. So this is a lot of fun to come through here. Ooh, look at this. The contrast of both the Cool Jazz and then the Mini Vista Midnight. That's really fun. They show up really well together. Love that. Absolutely precious. All right, we're gonna find another quick little area to cool off. We'll see you back here in a second. Alrighty, my friends, I want you to stay tuned because Jerry is going to put the drone up so you can get just kind of the bird's eye view of the garden and all of her beautiful display of colors and flowers. So if you are in the region of Loudon, New Hampshire, we're very close to Boston, we're very close to Portsmouth, all sorts of fun things that are very close to nearby. So if you're in the region, we would love for you to come by Pleasant View Gardens, again, sun up to sundown basically. Every year the gardens will be open to the public that first week of August. So beginning the first week of August until frost, you can come and enjoy, walk through these gardens, bring a picnic. You've got lovely shade trees and branches right here, and apples falling from trees. The Lord provides your snack right here. So you can just come and hang out underneath the apple trees and have lots of fun. But again, a huge thank you to all of our friends at Pleasant View Gardens because they are always such fantastic hosts. And then of course the gardens, they are beautiful, very inspirational, very practical, very hands-on, lots of fun ideas. I can't wait to come back tomorrow for the actual event and really like study everything and take lots of pictures so that we can share those with you in greater detail. If you have found this fun, informative, inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Garden with Creekside. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.